Hey, what's going on everybody? Today we're going to be here with a new game and series to the channel. Today we're going to be here with the Skyrim Mods Spotlight. This is something I've wanted to try to do for a while now, as I've watched so many over the past years and I've played with so many mods across many Bethesda games. This serves as an excuse for me to try out a bunch of mods that I've seen but never actually played due to time commitments with life and other games. Making content on them is a good way to justify it to myself, so here we go with episode 1. To start off for this episode, we're going to be going with probably the biggest mod in all of modded Skyrim, that being SkyUI. SkyUI is developed by Schlongster and is currently sitting at about 4,235,000 unique downloads, and well deserved at that. SkyUI is a mod that I and most people will call an essential mod for Skyrim PC. SkyUI overhauls pretty much all of the UI in Skyrim, from inventory management to your quest and magic logs. It makes everything easier to read and navigate with the mouse as opposed to the way the standard UI was designed, that being with a controller in mind for consoles. This mod is required by many other mods to even function and has become an integral part of the modding community. Having reinstalled Skyrim and recently launching it without SkyUI, I don't think I could ever go back to the way it was previously. And on top of that, many of the current mods coming out require this mod to even run at all, so if you want to mod Skyrim, you might as well have SkyUI installed. While this mod doesn't add any crazy spells or anything super crazy into your game, the effect you feel will pretty much outclass almost every mod you see, because you're using this in every time you play the game. You're seeing the effects of this mod. I'm going to try to get some of the footage of the many aspects of this mod covers, but you should just download it and see for yourself if you haven't already. If you're new to modding, or most of you probably already know what this is, but I feel I couldn't do a first episode on modding Skyrim without naming off one of the biggest mods in all of modded Skyrim. So chances are if you ever modded Skyrim, you've probably already seen SkyUI. Next up on the block is a quality world map. It's developed by Ice Penguin and currently sits at 2,908,078 unique downloads. A quality world map sets out to do exactly what it says. It updates the map with far more detail and clarity. The mod also offers different variations on the map, with an option to even have an old Lord of the Rings looking paper style map to it. In addition to that, there are many options to include all roads or only main roads, or to turn off the clouds on the map screen and so on. So you can make the map clear, make it cloudy like it normally is in the game. What roads to include if you want to make a clearer map or a very detailed map. There's a lot of options there for you to do different things. While this mod may not be nearly as much of a necessity as SkyUI, it is certainly a quality of life improvement over the original game. And we're looking at the map and trying to figure out a route. This mod has lots of options to include many side roads and small roads to make it a lot easier to find the optimal route to where you're going, if that's what you're into. Otherwise, you can remove all those and then just kind of do the exploring yourself and keep a very bare bones map. There's not much else to say about that. It's kind of what it does. It makes the map look nicer, it brings the quality up, and gives you lots of options to change the map to the way you like and the way you play the game. Skyrim is a cold place, so this next mod should be right at home here. Cloaks of Skyrim is a very immersive addition to Skyrim, introducing nearly 100 styles of cloaks to Skyrim, giving many factions their own unique cloaks with different variants on those, with lots of basic cloaks as well, just being a brown leather fur, brown fur, brown leather, and so on and so on. So lots of different options there and lots of different faction options if you're role-playing. The cloaks are textured really well, and there's a huge variety to put in your character. Like I said earlier, to go with role-playing needs if you're role-playing a certain race or a certain faction, or whatever your needs might be, there are tons of options to make it work. These cloaks are obtainable through crafting, static loot around the world, as well as through looting enemies as it is added to the leveled list, so that enemies will respawn with these cloaks as well. Although a bash patch may be required for that to work properly, especially with other mods if you want to add to the level list. That is a whole other process that I probably will not go into detail for a while, as I'm still learning about bash patches and all the kind of much more minute details of modding. Cloaks of Skyrim also interacts with mods like hypothermia and frostfall, and adds a cold resistance when you equip them while playing these mods, which adds a real sense of cold and immersion when used together, as NPCs will also wear heavier cloaks when it's cold. So this mod goes hand in hand with things like frostfall and hypothermia, where that when it gets cold out and you need to be by fires to keep warm, when you're out with the cloak on, it will keep you warm for longer, just like it would in real life. I think that's a really cool addition there. Last up for today's video, we have an alternate start, Live Another Life. Live Another Life lets you, well, live another life, because the starting sequence is fun at a few times, but if you're modding a lot and playing for your 5th or 6th or 10th or 15th time like a lot of people are, it can be a lot less interesting and very repetitive and long and drawn out, and once you've seen it a couple times, it's not that cool anymore. It's quite a long process to get into a new game when you're trying out new mods or doing a new playthrough, whatever you might be doing. Live Another Life lets you start off in a dungeon cell where you can choose between many new starting locations and scenarios. So each scenario will give you a new location to start with kind of like a theme to it. So you might say, you know, I hold property in one of the holds. And that means that you can choose which hold you own property. And so you can start at the Breeze home owning that property with a couple starting items and something like that. You can say, I just escaped from a prison somewhere and I'm on the run. So I'm in the woods and you don't have much on you. I'm a hunter, so you have like bow and cloaks and you start from the woods somewhere. A lot of things like that. These scenarios will vary from many of those different things. And you can kind of really use that to customize your roleplay. And also it just jumps you right into the game at a much quicker point, giving you a nice starting off point, and then the mod gives you a quest to lead you into the actual story of Skyrim if you're trying to play the game as well. So it doesn't just cut off the story at all, it gives you a way to lean into it there. And additionally, you choose your starting area, it is in addition to letting you choose a new starting area essentially. It is a mod that I will always have installed, if not only for the reason it allows me to skip the very long intro. Well, it was cool intro to see once or twice. Like I said, it gets old many years after now, and I'm restarting lots of characters with playing new mods and trying things out, and I'm restarting lots of characters more than I'm not. This mod allows you to get into them way quicker, and is definitely a mod I will never play the game without again. With that being said, I think we're going to close up this episode. Please let me know what you think. I'm going to be trying to get these out a little more frequently. This one took me a while to work on, as I just didn't have a lot of time, and trying to get the right footage and length of the script and everything is going to be a lot of work, but it's something that's really cool, and there's just so many mods that I want to check out, and I just can't dedicate the time to just playing each of them just because there's just so many games I'm trying to play in the other meantime, and this gives me a cool way to kind of brush up my recording skills as well as my writing skills and all these other things that go along with this. So I think this is a really cool idea that I'm looking to do a lot more of. So please let me know what you think, and then in that case I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.